It's news time. Information is power. Be current. The news headline: Buhari was wise to not name those funding Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho. The speech made by President Muhammadu Buhari on October 1st, 2021 was the first Independence Day speech made by Mr. President that did not receive much criticism from the usual quarters. This is my opinion. However, the disclosure by the President that certain high-profile individuals have been identified by the government as the financiers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho has made a lot of Nigerians somewhat perturbed that their identities were not made public. The President further satiated our appetite for sensationalization by adding that a sitting senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is also among the suspected financiers being investigated, classic and masterfully played. Firstly, the President has avoided a media trial of the suspects before their actual trial in court begins. Only a fool or an uninformed person will discountenance the place of public opinion in a world that is driven by technology as we have it today. People will take side and express opinions that are based mostly on sentiment, and this will further eat up the polity and the country. Secondly, naming the financiers would actually amount to naming and shaming them. This is what the government is for. Recall that when journalists wanted to know why the identities of terrorist financiers were not made public, Mr. Femi Adesina made it known that Buhari's government was interested in bringing the malefactors to justice, which invariably means that they have to be charged in court before the public gets to know about the financiers. Thirdly, the government needs to build an ironclad case against whoever the suspects are, of which failure would mean a lost opportunity to put the suspects out of business and possibly out of circulation. If they are set free by a court as a result of poor investigation, they could harm the government further by suing for damages in hundreds of millions, and that would give them the opportunity to continue to further funding agitations in Nigeria. Fourthly, naming and shaming would give them the opportunity to make moves or take steps that could jeopardize the ongoing investigation against them. That is, they could actually subvert the investigation. If this happens, then the government will actually come out empty-handed and will have failed in blocking the sources of finances for these agitators. Fifth, the suspects could panic and make mistakes that would make government investigation easy. This is very likely because they now know that the government is into them and would want to make efforts to tidy up their acts. Lastly, some of them might decide to abscond from the country in a bid to avoid being arrested and tried in a court of law. The recent Mr. Sunday Igboho travails and travel are a case in point. While there are other angles to the above reasons why it was proper that the President did not name the financiers being investigated, the President's decision not to identify them in his October 4 speech was said to be a wise one. A legal practitioner, Festus Ogun, has lambasted President Muhammadu Buhari for ordering Nigerian security units to subdue Biafra and Yoruba Nation agitators Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho. In an interview with the human rights activist, he accused Buhari of looking elsewhere due to his administration's failure in security and combating terrorism. On the secessionist incarceration vis-a-vis the activities of the killer herdsmen, bandits and terrorists, Ogun called the actions of federal authorities glaringly embarrassing. The principal partner of Festus Ogun Legal said the president's 101 paragraph October 4 speech addressed Kanu Igboho matter with less mention of insurgents and terror groups. One would expect that given the length at which the president went in addressing the unjust and indiscriminate clampdown on Igboho and Kanu, he would extend his strong words on the criminal activities of terror groups holding a piece of our country to ransom. I find it very disturbing, condemnable, and suspicious. Would the president's smoothness validate the fears that he is sympathetic towards terrorists, or was it a sheer costly omission? Many Nigerians would be tempted to pitch towards the former as a result of the deep love and affection that the president has shown towards Fulani herdsmen and terrorists in words and actions over the years. I think this is a dangerous path that would compound whatever is left of our tottering structure as a country, Ogun warned. Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, has been at the custody of the Department of State Services in Abuja. At the Radio Biafra's founders trial at the Federal High Court in Abuja will resume this month. Justice Binta Iyanko had turned down Kanu's legal application for his transfer to Kuje prison. A security source informed Daily Post that Kanu's foot soldiers, the Eastern Security Network in particular, are on standby to breach any correctional center the government keeps him. The Nigerian government, after repatriating Kanu in June days, and also Igboho, which his new name is Sunday Adeyemo, who was stopped at the Kadijon airport in Cotonou in July before his planned trip to Europe, still at the Benin prison as at now, have been in detention. Therefore, Festus Ogun is of the opinion that Buhari has not done well in terms of not paying more attention on those that are causing terrorism in the country, who are the Fulani herdsmen, bandits, and terrorists, but focusing on self-agitators that are guided by the Constitution. And this is why the Human Rights Association of Nigeria are also against the methods of which President Muhammadu Buhari is handling matters like this. Immediately after swearing in of President Buhari, who took more than 6 months to constitute his cabinet, and sadly, the cabinet ministers are mostly opportunistic, cash-guzzling politicians with zero commitment to Nigeria's national economic revolution and advancement. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria actually said that Nigeria has continued to meander the path befitting failed, weak, and juvenile states, a state that had very great prospects. They averred that it was disturbing to note that while Nigeria is the third most terrorized country in the world, next to Afghanistan and Iraq, the Buhari-led government actions are centered on cows in such a way that cows are more secure in Nigeria than Nigerians, just as the others are armed to the teeth to the knowledge of government authorities. Also, the Human Rights Writers Association revealed that Nigeria's public debt stock, which has reached $84 billion, with debt service costs galloping about 80% of entire government revenue. Thanks for listening. That is the news.